our reusable jar over here, so that's looking pretty spicy. Let's go ahead and start off with a Desires, because I might not want a duality. So with counter fairies, this card makes the deck a lot better. And next up, we're gonna go ahead and duality. The reason why is, you already know, Battle for Artemis must be in our hand like turn 1. This is actually a really good card as well. I'm gonna have to pay a lot of life points, but it's okay. We got this. This is gonna make it so everything will be a-okay. And it is gonna go ahead and throw a card into the grave. So I'm going to activate this. We'll get rid of this. I need the Guiding Arrow. Do I need this? Not really. But we're gonna go ahead and get rid of those 2 cards, draw 2 more. Unfortunately, we can't make use of that, but we're gonna go ahead and activate this. Go ahead and set this up, and you'll see how good this card is going to be. It's gonna make this deck so much better. So I'll go ahead and pass to our opponent here, and instantly we'll hit him up with that Grand, and then they'll just go ahead and it'll be free. And then once we have just 2 traps in the grave, we're going to be able to add back that Grand Horn of Heaven, Balancer Lord. We're going to go ahead and hit him up. We can hit him with a warning. We can let the Balancer Lord go through. I mean, is he really going to go Balancer Lord, go to battle phase attack? I doubt it. Through. So we'll see what he does. He's gonna add the water. But yeah, we need to wait until he actually goes for something. And then we'll Grand Horn him, and then we'll be good. But the problem is he's gonna get a lot of free cards. Okay. From all monsters your opponent controls with 2,300 or less. Well, it's a good thing I have 0, man. It's a good thing we have 0. He's trying to. That card's not happening, Kappa. Alright, so we'll give him another card, and it'll be the end of the main phase. So I guess we'll actually take some battle damage, which I guess is kind of bad for us, but eventually we'll stabilize, hopefully. We need to actually get a 1,700 attacker. We actually need another Guiding Ariadne to crash into him, but we'll see what he does in main phase 2 here. And maybe that was a bad idea. I think on a lot of decks they'll just like pass because they're like, I don't want to run to anything else. But we still have the Solemn Warning, and we don't have to pay life points. So if he tries to follow up with another play, we'll be okay. I don't really like leaving my opponent the draw. So we're going to go ahead and activate our Reusable Jar. We're going to go ahead and activate that effect. So we're going to go ahead and banish a Reusable Jar. Then we're going to re-add back this card to our hand. So this is why this is so good. As long as we activate like 1 counter trap every single turn, we basically get some fuel to go ahead and utilize for the following turns. And hopefully we don't get Ash Blossomed over here. All right, well, that's a start. We really need to get Guiding Ariadne though. I mean, I guess that card does technically have 1,800 attack, and we'll be able to add a card. So that would be quite nice. Just enough attack. Hey, he got Honest? No, no way he's got Honest. We will be adding Honest to our hand, or we can go ahead and add. Actually, I should probably have set the double. No, actually, I need the variety because you have to banish one to add one with a different name. So it's actually fine that we do different ones. So we'll go ahead and pass off to him. And even though we're at low life points, it's totally fine. It's part of counter fairies anyways. Sometimes you just have to pay life points if you don't have this card. This card is very important. Oh, so he's gonna hit that card too. I'd actually would like to keep that effect. So we're going to go ahead and stop that effect. And now that we've activated a card effect, we're going to go ahead and be able to add Honest or Bountiful Artemis. We've got 2 Negates over here, so that should be quite great. I don't think he has anything that he can just summon instantly that can run over my monster, so I'm going to play it on the side of, let's go ahead and get Bountiful Artemis. Let's go ahead and start getting some extra draw power so we can make great use of these cards. So he's going to go ahead and activate this. This deck lives off of its normal summon. I can literally hit this and it just gets rid of it. I could wait for him to go for something, but I think this is okay too. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to check my graveyard. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit yes. We're going to go ahead and activate this. And then we're going to go ahead and banish our Solemn Warning to add our Providence right back to our hand. And this negates anything, so it's completely free. And then now, it's in the situation where, oh, we top deck another Bountiful. That's really good. Go ahead and set that. Go ahead and set one of these. And these are not once per turns, too. So now we're really going to be able to pretty much lock him down. And that's how good Reusable Jar is. In the game right now. If you open up with Ties of the Brethren, it honestly makes the deck so much better over here. But we got triple negates, and I think that he'll probably have to concede this one. And what I like with Bountiful, it's not a once per turn. This card is a once per turn, just as a heads up. But we'll see what he's got. He's got to make a play this turn. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and summon a card. And are you going to activate that effect? You're going to add a level 4 lower? Oh, and then he's going instantly for the AI's Ritual. So he's going to go ahead and Ritual. So we're going to go ahead and just stop this. Because either way, I want to activate one of these. Oh, he surrendered. So here's how it would have went down. Obviously, we'd have one of these in the grave. If he has any rebuttal play, I mean, honestly, Counter Faries is not a very entertaining or back and forth duel. It's usually Counter Faries destroy or they brick, which honestly is any Counter Fairy deck. If you go second, you're not going to have a good time. I'm just going to go ahead and save it as Counter Fairy 1. I have a few other like plays, but honestly, it's not a very fun deck to watch. So here's basically what we would have done. We would have drawn an extra card off of Bountiful. We would have been able to search out Honest, which is quite nice. But Honest is just, it's lost a lot of its power in the game, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a deck profile because I know there are people out there that like to play Counter Fairies. I'm not sure how I feel about this card, honestly. I don't like giving them the extra draw, but it completely ends that main phase because it's just during your opponent's main phase. It can be main phase 1 or 2, but I think that this deck could probably use some work. Someone had just mentioned Condemn Witch over here. So this card's normal summon, you can add a Forbidden Quick Play spell from your deck to your hand during your opponent's main phase. You can trip this card, special summon a level 4 fairy monster from your deck. Okay, I could see this deck being very good as well with Counter Fairies. Sure, I think this is an excellent card. I do want to mention that this card won't work with Ties of the Brethren though, because it has to be the same type and attribute. But this card can definitely help out the deck. I wouldn't mind playing 2 or 3 copies of this card. That's an excellent suggestion. But it's also dark. You know, throw that BLS in here. But it's just any level 4 fairy monster from your deck. Okay, except for itself, but that's fine. The problem with Counter Fairies, honestly, is really that you need to open up with Bountiful Artemis. Or, I mean, Valkyria can be an okay turn 1 play too, because Valkyria at least lets you add Honest to your hand, and then they can't attack you, and then you just negate all of their summons in the first place. Sometimes, you know, people will summon, like, a monster, you negate it, but then they have another follow-up play. You can usually deal with 2, but sometimes when they have, like, double reborns, or, like, they have, like, a lot more summons, it really is tough for this deck to deal with going second. Honestly, I really like Perform Pop-Up, because it lets you throw in traps in the graveyard. You only need 1 reusable jar. I tried running the Parshath engine. Let me mention some of these cards, because some of these cards aren't bad. Like this card, it's not that bad, but the problem is that I have a lot of consistency issues running all of these, and you just don't have the monster, or honestly, Counter Fairies are a very inconsistent deck. If they were, I mean, you have to go first, and you have to open up pretty good, but this card becomes Sanctuary in the Sky, then you can use Reincarnating Parshath, and you can get out this card, and then you can go ahead and do battle damage and search out another counter trap card from your deck, which could be Solemn. I mean, Guardian Ariadne is just a fantastic card overall. So at one point, I was trying out Magical Abductor. It got enough counters on one of the duels, but by that time it was already over. But you're able to, every 3 spells, you can go ahead and search out your Guiding Ariadne, because this card's really important for the deck, because there's a lot of cards like this, which you don't want to discard, you don't want to discard, you don't want to pay life points, because eventually we got everything for free. In the very beginning we had to pay life points, but I could definitely recommend this, a quick little suggestion here. If you want to make it to 40 cards, feel free to go ahead and maybe drop this card if you want, but I actually think it was quite nice, because again, you need a variety of the counter trap cards, because remember, Reusable Jar banishes one, and then you have to replace it with another one the next turn that's a different one, and then basically you can cycle through Solemns and you have free negates, and then you have this. It's an annoying deck to play against, and I'm not interested in playing this deck anymore. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. So I was playing 2 copies of Power Angel Valkyria, 3 copies of Ariadne, 3 copies of Artemis, just 1 Honest, because it's just, I just feel like Honest isn't as powerful as it used to be. And then we have 3 copies of Condemned Witch, which, yeah, this card is probably a really good addition. 3 copies of Profound Pop-Up, 3 copies of Desires, 3 copies of Tides of the Brethren, which if you open up this and this, you're really set. You can get this card, you can crash it, and then search out whatever you want, and then Artemis will get an extra draw off of it anyways. And then I'm playing 2 Extravagance. You really don't need the extra deck in here. I'm just playing all the Nightmares. And then 3 Duality. You don't need a special summon at all. If you special summon, you're already ahead and you're winning, but like, it's fine. With this card. A Reusable Jar, which is what makes the deck possible. It lets you literally it gives you pretty much infinite traps, because Battle for Artemis will always let you draw 1, and hopefully it's a trap. You have a 50% chance. If not, the rest of the cards are pretty much just draw power to get you your traps anyways. Yeah, this card just makes everything just a lot more consistent, because again, if you open up with it and you go first, you'll be set, because again, you guys got to see how good the card was, especially with Grand Horde of Heaven, because if you immediately end that main phase, then they have to go right into the battle phase. If they have nothing, well, then they just go to main phase 2, and then your cards will more than likely survive, because people don't really want to commit to the board and not have a battle phase. That doesn't make sense, so they usually just pass, and then once it's back to your turn, you re-add back that Grand Horde of Heaven, like I did to that guy with that cheeky play, and then Province negates anything, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Solemn Strike, Judgments, all the Solemns, 9 of them. We're not letting them play Yu-Gi-Oh! The extra doesn't matter, but I recommend this card, and I recommend this card. This card you can't even make, so why is it here? That's just because I threw it together really fast, and I wanted to get you guys some gameplay of Reusable Jar in 2020. But honestly, I don't think this is going to be an S-tier deck. It's not a competitive deck at all. It's just Counter Faries got kind of some more support. Any deck that really uses traps got a huge boost with this card, and I think for slower paced games or more control games, this can be okay. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you are new here, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on that bell so you don't miss out on more cool Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. And if you guys want to send me other replays of anything that can make good use of Reusable Jar, because I'm going to actually get you guys some more gameplay of something else that you'll see in another video very soon. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you next vid. Peace.